We're now joined by Coach Dan Hawkins from Colorado University. Coach, welcome.
University of Colorado.
University of Colorado. Sorry about that. Your comments about the summer and the upcoming season?
Well, much like you, I think everybody's very, very excited to get going. Talked with Tim Brando out there this morning a little bit, and I think the longer you do this, I don't know about you guys, the more you feel blessed that you have an opportunity to do this and be a part of young people's lives, be a part of college football, be in such a great conference with so many great teams and programs and coaches, and that's always a tremendous thrill. I think I always tell my wife I will know when it's time to retire, because I always, every summer, I'm itching to go, and you're always excited for so many different reasons. I think we've had a great summer. Kids have put in a lot of work. I think our strength coach would tell you this is the best summer by far, and every coach would tell you that what goes on in June and July has a lot to do with how your season goes. And so we've had every single guy on our football team be there this summer, and including our walk-ons, and I think that commitment, dedication has been great. Had the greatest semester in the history of Colorado football academically in the spring, and that was great as well. And I think trying to establish this culture of excellence with class is really starting to take place, and we're starting to see some of the older guys on our team really develop into some fine leaders. And so I think we have a chance, providing we can avoid some of the injuries that we had last year and get a little momentum going. I think we have a chance to do some really nice things this year. But really love our guys, really love our culture. It's been an interesting process at Colorado, and as I told somebody out in the other room, I'm going on my 4th year, and I think I'm probably have been in the Colorado athletic department probably more than 90% of the people that are there. So it's been a very interesting place.
Okay, Coach, we'll take our first question on the aisle on the right side, and then we'll move to the left.
Dan, Mike DeArmond, Kansas City Star, and you know this is coming. Did you guarantee, hope for, or express surprise if you all would fall short of 10 victories?
Well, I always love the good internet. You know, you got to have the good internet rumors out there that everybody kind of jumps on as fact. I think the people that were there, here's my deal with that. I think it's like bringing our football players to the stadium yesterday. I think the goal is always excellence. The bar is always high, and I think those of you that are parents of kids understand that whatever you expect out of your children, whatever that is, they're going to go wherever you set that bar. And to me, we talk about all the time with our guys excellence with class, and I'm into that. And being able to raise the bar academically, socially, in the weight room, on the football field, that's important to me. And I don't want to, you know, I think it's awesome this trophy is sitting right here, because you know, that's what it's about. To me, if you coach and you play, your goal is ought to be always to win the national championship and win your conference. I think that's part of it. But I'm never going to sell our guys short, and I think I'm a big believer in what your expectations and your vision and what your standard is. And, you know, I've always said there's 2 types of class, first and no. And if you're not a high standard guy, you're a low standard guy. I just don't get that. So it's not about the wins. I didn't guarantee anything. I didn't promise anything. I didn't threaten anything. That was never part of the equation was we should always expect the best. And, you know, you look at, in every sport, no matter who it is, there's always some classic example is I told somebody out in the other room, the Arizona Cardinals. You know, I thought it was awesome that last year they had a road game swing back east, and I think they were playing Washington and Philly maybe back-to-back. Well, they stayed there. Arizona stayed there for a week so they could get used to what would happen in the Super Bowl. Well, if you're somebody covering the Arizona Cardinals, or you're a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, and you think, what? In preparation for the Super Bowl, well, guess what? They were in the Super Bowl. So I think your coach and your players and everybody else, you want to have that expectation of that's where we're going, and that's what we're all about, because you're not going to get there if you don't have that expectation. And that's really the crux of that whole deal.
Question on the outside left.
Coach Kyle Ringo from the Daily Camera. You're going to be coaching wide receivers this year. Could you talk about the challenge that presents and give us your initial evaluation of the position?
I'm really excited about it. I love coaching. I love teaching. And I coached the tight ends when I was the head coach at Boise State. And I think it's always great to be in the trenches. And I used to say this, and I still say it to some degree. I think after about 5 years, every head coach ought to go back and be an assistant because you figure out what it's like in the trenches. So I'm excited about that. I've been raised as a teacher and raised as a coach, and I'm excited about getting back in there with those guys and having a group of people. I think every head coach would tell you that as you go along in this profession a little bit, sometimes you wake up, sometimes you're going, well, I'm not doing as much coaching as I really want. I'm doing all this other stuff. So it's going to be really fun for me to get back in the trenches there. In terms of the position itself, I really like those guys a lot. I think they've had a great summer. Hearing really great reports about the new receivers that we have on our club, and obviously there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve there. But I do think that there's going to be a couple of people who've been hanging in the shadows that are going to really help us out a lot, and then we're going to have to bring those young guys along a little bit.